Hello, everyone. This is the official Black Panther fan club. I'm back with a movie review. This is going to be for Malcolm and Marie, and I'm calling this my Slept on It movie review. And the reason is self-explanatory. I wanted to sleep on my thoughts about the movie until I came to a conclusion, and I'll get right into it. This movie, Malcolm and Marie, starring Zendaya, Stormer Coleman, and John David Washington, written and directed by Sam Levinson. Now, Sam Levinson is best known for his show on HBO, Euphoria, also starring Zendaya. And she recently won Best Actress Emmy Award for it. And she's the youngest person, or at least the youngest actress, to win the award. So kudos to her. Sam Levinson also writes a lot about his past life as a teen drug addict. And as you may know, Euphoria deals around teenage drug addicts, and the main character, who Zendaya plays, is a drug addict. The reason I bring that up is because in this movie, Malcolm and Marie, she again plays a recovering drug addict. And that's critical as far as the plot of the movie. Now, the movie begins, it's about a couple, particularly John David Washington. He's a filmmaker, and his girlfriend returned home from a movie premiere. Smoldering tensions and painful revelations pushed them toward a romantic reckoning. Now, that's how it's described on Netflix. Okay, the couple comes home, and it's probably within the first 5 minutes of them being home, where you can tell things are about to go left. Malcolm is still enjoying the night from his movie premiere. He got a lot of great reviews. He got a lot of great compliments. Even when he spoke to the press, it appeared that they were leaning towards giving him a good write-up, which had him in a great mood. He turned on some music, had a couple of drinks flowing, and hey, he's just celebrating the night. Zendaya, or Marie, she had other things on her mind at the time, and you can tell. Apparently, what happened is during his acceptance speech of the ending of the movie, not his acceptance speech, but his talk about the movie at the end, he thanked everyone except her. Ooh, yeah, we all know that's a big deal. And she was hot about it, needless to say, but he had to pull it out of her. And if you watch the trailer, you can see him constantly saying, Marie, Marie, Marie. That's him trying to get her to tell him what's wrong. Now, the movie goes on into, in him trying to figure out what's wrong with her, she finally decides, okay, let's talk about what's really wrong. And as she discloses what's wrong with her, he thinks she's overreacting by saying that he forgot to thank her. And in forgetting to thank her, he made mention that he apologized several times in the movie while it was going on, and she told him it was okay. And the two of them just went back and forth for quite a while, and that's pretty much the gist of the movie. They argue throughout the entire movie. But the one thing I can say was that from personal experience, I wasn't buying that they were actually mad at each other. And what I mean by that is Zendaya did not come across to me as being a mad female romantically involved with the guy she's arguing with. The thing about it is that when women typically, when women are upset, there is emotion shown. And for me, there wasn't enough emotion shown from Zendaya's character. This is her first breakthrough role as an adult in which she's trying to shed her teen Disney image. So, with that being said, I think she did a good job in choosing a role to help her shed that image. There are some, I guess, slightly erotic scenes, but there's no nudity. So that part she covered. However, I believe that if she was a more experienced adult actress, and I don't want to say adult film, but in a film in which she's played an adult more, or even perhaps if she's had more personal romantic relationship experience, I think she would have played this character a whole lot better. This character, for me, did not display enough emotion for the topics that were discussed. During the evening, Malcolm, he says some pretty harsh things to her. And it's sad to me that some of the things he was saying, I was thinking to myself, like, whoa, like, man, you've gone too far. Just thinking as a man who's in a relationship. But even when he would go far and go beyond what's needed for the conversation, her reaction would never meet the conversation, I think. It's kind of hard to put into words, but for him, he showed more emotion, in which he was, even demonstrative. He went outside at one point, and you can see that in the trailer where he's punching the air and things like that. That's a display of emotion, although it served no no purpose for the argument itself, but it displayed how he was feeling at the time, if that makes sense. I believe that him being older than her, literally, he was 35 and she was 23 when this movie was made. So just the age difference alone allowed the role to be portrayed in different aspects of their career. Although their career is pretty similar, he was already older when he started to do movies and shows. I think Ballers on HBO was his first breakthrough show. At least that's where I know him from. Maybe he did some other work, but he was already, older. And Zendaya, bless her heart, she did the best she could do with what she had. She delivered a dialogue flawlessly, but perhaps the dialogue was too wordy or too comprehensive for her to do the dialogue and display the emotion that was going on based on what he was saying. Like, you can tell that they followed the script to a T. There was very little improv allowed from her perspective. Maybe for John David, he was allowed some improv, but it didn't stir too far away from, the pages of the script. There is one scene in which he's going off about the write-up he just received in the LA Times, and he says something like, "To this day." And when I heard that, I immediately thought of Deontay Wilder, and the way he said it, the pitch of his voice made me think of Deontay Wilder. So I was like, okay, maybe that was improv. I don't know, because he was just saying a lot of stuff at the time, and I don't believe that he was able to not deliver what the director wanted, but I believe he put his own spin on it. So with this film, I would just say that Zendaya, is great to see her in a breakout role. I believe she will learn a lot from this movie, but at the same time, this movie should have been given to a more seasoned adult content actress for it to come off in the way that I believe it would have been better. I believe a lot was the director, the writer director. I think he let a lot of stuff, you know, go simply because she's the star of his other show. But once you see it, you will understand what I mean. There's anger, then there's laughter, then there's anger, then there's laughter, and there's anger, and it's like, okay, are you guys arguing? Or are you making up? And there was just not a lot of, there wasn't a lot of concentrated effort to have the audience involved emotionally. Like, it's kind of like watching a train wreck, but usually you will pick a side. And it was hard to pick a side with the argument they was having. So with that said, I would give Malcolm and Marie 3 stars out of 5. And the reason why is mainly because Zendaya, she didn't give the character much personality. One thing I will say, there is a moment where in talking about her being a drug addict, where he met her at 20, and it doesn't imply why she was on drugs. How did she end up as a drug addict at 20? And I would have liked to know that. Whereas with Malcolm, you knew what his mother did for a living, you knew what his father did for a living, you knew he went to college, you knew a lot more about him than you did about her. And that you have to do that it's just two actors. So you have to do that for both of them in order for people to better understand the dynamics of the relationship and people to follow along easier. The movie could have been great. I mean, it could have been 5 stars easily, but simply because the director didn't command more out of the actress, it failed. And a lot of people are going to give this movie great reviews, and I understand, but I just had to look a little deeper, and I was not impressed by her performance, although I imagine I will be impressed years to come. So with that said, this is Official Black Panther Fan Club. This is the Slept On It movie review, and I'm out of here. Later, guys.